The Dragon Prince is filled with characters who could definitely be described as tragic characters, but none more so than the character of Kasef.
So if you're wondering like who Kasef is and why you should care, stay with me to the end of the video because I think once I explain it, you'll probably see where I'm coming from.
My aim is to shed light on the true nature of Kasef and illuminate the profound tragedy of his untimely demise. Among the many remarkable aspects of the Dragon Prince, one element that stands out is the exceptional characterization. The show's creators possess a unique ability to craft complex and multi-layered characters, presenting them with thought-provoking moral dilemmas that reveal unforeseen dimensions. For example, Soren's transformation from a stereotypical bully to a heroic figure in the first season exemplifies this profound character development. However, not all characters receive the same level of exploration and growth. Prince Kasef's story, tragically, is cut short, and it serves as a prime example of untapped potential and missed opportunity for character revelations. Prince Kasef's story embodies the tragedy of unfulfilled potential. Introduced as a seemingly straightforward character, he is denied the chance to embark on a transformative journey that would have exposed the intricate layers of his own personality. Instead, his narrative is abruptly halted, leaving his true self hidden behind the weight of Viren's deception, and his own quest for vengeance unfulfilled. In this video essay, we are going to delve into the intricacies of Kasef's character and shed light on the profound tragedy of his journey. Throughout the third season of the show, we catch glimpses of Kasef, and these brief appearances offer intriguing insights into his character. The first mention of him comes indirectly, however, from his father, King Alling, who laments his struggles with getting Kasef to eat his vegetables. It is evident from Alling's words that he loves his son, although he finds him somewhat exasperating at times. That's basically the review that my parents would give me. However, Kasef's proper introduction occurs when he bursts into King Ezran's throne room on the young king's very first day. He comes through the doors and demands justice. This clash between the passionate prince and the inexperienced king sets the stage for a very interesting dynamic. Kasef arrives with his army and other allied forces, ready to wage war against Xadia. Unbeknownst to Ezran, other human kingdoms have suffered attacks, seemingly at the hands of Xadia. Frustrated by his inability to achieve the justice and vengeance that he sought from Ezran, Kasef aligns himself with Viren after the latter seizes the throne. When the time comes for a risky augmentation using dark magic, Kasef boldly volunteers to go first, showcasing his dedication to his cause. He eventually finds himself in a battle against the armies of Xadia, fulfilling his desire for action, only to meet his own demise at the hands of a fellow human, Queen Anya of Durin. In a fateful moment, while attempting to take the life of the Prince of Catullus and brother of Ezran, Kasef falls victim to an arrow piercing through his eye. Thus ends the life of the young Prince Kasef, leaving behind a complex and tragic legacy. Kasef unwittingly became a crucial ally in Viren's relentless pursuit to conquer Xadia. Blinded by his desire for justice and unaware of Viren's deceit, the young prince valiantly fought alongside the Dark Mage, only to meet his own tragic end. Little did Kasef know that it was Viren himself, the newly crowned King of Catullus, who had orchestrated the attack on his father and had taken the lives of many of the other human leaders. The very man he believed would lead them to victory was the true perpetrator behind all of the chaos. In the climactic conclusion of the show's second season, Viren finds himself in a very desperate situation, out of options and cornered. With his attempts to unite the human kingdoms against their common enemy failing, and then the impending threat of the breach and dragon sightings above human cities, his fear reached unprecedented heights. It was during this pivotal moment that Erebos, a mysterious mage who had become Viren's confidant, offered him some advice. Following this advice, and with the help of objects stolen from the Moon Shadow assassins responsible for the attack on the castle and the demise of King Harrow, Viren harnessed dark magic to create shadow versions of these assassins, unleashing them to sow fear and terror throughout the human kingdoms. This led to attacks on and the deaths of many human leaders. King Alling, Kasef's father, suffered grave injuries in the onslaught, teetering on the brink of death. Fueled by vengeance and unsure of his father's fate, Kasef took up the mantle, leading the charge against those he believed to be his attackers, galvanizing the other 4 human kingdoms as Viren had intended. Kasef's fiery determination played right into the Dark Mage's hands. Viren's manipulations succeeded beyond his own expectations, propelling Viren himself to the throne and securing the combined might of all 5 human kingdoms under his control. There's a profound tragedy that surrounds the character of Kasef. He was driven by a sense of righteousness, fueled by the desire to strike back against those who had attacked his family and violated his home. While his actions may have certainly been impulsive and not necessarily something that I would do myself, it's incredibly understandable. In many ways, Kasef's motivation mirrors that of Harrow's in the flashback in Season 3. Both sought revenge, or what they may have called justice, for the loss of their loved ones. It's intriguing to draw this parallel as the show treats these two motivations quite differently. The narrative indicates that both Harrow and Kasef are in the wrong for their actions. However, what's truly fascinating is how the audience perceives those two characters. Kasef is often disliked by most viewers, which is understandable given his hot-headed and confrontational nature. But what I can't help but wonder is this the entirety of who he is? Is he always like this, or is this some kind of behavior that is solely driven by his pursuit of justice for his father's attack? Can we honestly claim that we wouldn't be somewhat impulsive and perhaps a bit confrontational if our own family members were attacked? Imagine you're standing before a child who holds the power to help you achieve justice, yet appears incompetent and bewildered.
I'm not sure.
Zadia has attacked the human kingdoms. All of us. There must be a proportionate response.
I'm sorry, but I'm kind of new at this. I'm not really sure what you mean. What kind of response?
War.
What? No! The people of the human kingdoms and Zadia want peace.
If you can't take action against Zadia, you have failed as a king. And you have failed as a son.
There's a complex range of emotions at play within Kasef, which is one of the reasons that he is such a tragic character. Perhaps Kasef was a genuinely good person, beyond this particular instance. He seemed to hold a deep respect for his family and displayed discipline, evident in his muscular physique and the respect he seemed to have garnered from the other military leaders. The tragedy lies in the fact that we'll never truly know who he was beyond this specific role he played in the narrative. That is, of course, to contrast Ezran's pursuit of peace, as well as serving as an antagonist for that particular storyline. His life was abruptly cut short, and to make matters worse, he was deceived all along, unknowingly aiding the very person he sought justice against. It's heartbreaking when you think about how he perished without ever learning the truth, driven solely by the desire to defend his family's honor and to seek justice for the atrocities committed against them. We will never know the full extent of his character or the potential he could have held had he not been slain in battle. The Dragon Prince deals with the concept of a cycle of violence, highlighting the notion that if someone inflicts harm upon you, the instinct is to retaliate. We witness Harrow slaying the Magma Titan, which ultimately leads to the death of his wife, Sarai. In response, Harrow seeks revenge against Thunder by killing him, which then prompts the Dragon Queen to dispatch elven assassins to take Harrow's life. This chain of events triggers Viren to send assassins to attack the human kingdoms, aiming to galvanize them into action against Zadia. As a result, King Alling suffers injuries, fueling Kasef's desire for vengeance against Zadia, and on the cycle continues. The cycle of violence is prominently embodied in the character of Kasef. We witness how deeply he was affected by the attack of his father, driving him to swiftly strike back and engage in battle against the elves and dragons. The show explicitly conveys that violence is wrong, and it's disheartening to see how Kasef never had the chance to learn the errors of his ways. The treatment of his death in the show, which was meant to be a triumphant moment for the audience, is actually quite distressing when you reflect on it. We realize that this young man, this teenager, was deceived by the series' villain, leading him to his own demise. And when the moment arrives for him to be killed, the audience is expected to rise and applaud, which is undeniably sorrowful in a series that emphasizes the consequences of perpetual violence. The show prompts us to contemplate the cyclical nature of violence, yet it leaves us with a sense of sadness and introspection. Instead of breaking the cycle, we witness the perpetuation of violence, which is a thought-provoking and poignant element of the narrative. In the realm of the Dragon Prince, where characters are crafted with remarkable depth and complexity, Kasef's story stands out as a tragedy of untapped potential, his journey cut short by deception and the pursuit of vengeance. It holds a poignant message about the cycle of violence. Kasef's character introduction hinted at a young man grappling with his responsibilities and passionate about seeking justice. His clash with King Ezran revealed a fiery determination to set the stage for an intriguing character arc. However, his alliance with the manipulative Viren and the subsequent participation in the battle against Zadia ultimately led to his own demise, becoming a victim of his own misguided convictions. The true tragedy lies in Kasef's role as an unwitting ally to Viren, the very villain he sought to defeat. Blinded by his thirst for justice and unaware of the machinations at play, Kasef fought valiantly, only to be consumed by the cycle of violence. His demise, portrayed as a heroic moment in the show, leaves a bittersweet taste for me, reminding us of the inherent sadness and consequences that come with perpetuating violence. The character of Kasef raises profound questions about the nature of justice and the complexity of human emotions. It invites us to consider our own reactions in the face of personal tragedy, and the lengths we would go to seek retribution. His impulsive and confrontational nature may be understandable given the circumstances, yet it also highlights the tragic consequences of unchecked anger and revenge. Ultimately, Kasef's character remains shrouded in unexplored depths. The Dragon Prince masterfully depicts the cycle of violence, emphasizing the destructive nature of retaliation. It challenges us to reflect on our own responses to adversity and the importance of breaking the cycle. In the end, Kasef's story serves as a poignant reminder that growth and redemption can only be achieved by transcending the cycle of violence. It prompts us to strive for understanding, forgiveness, and a path towards lasting peace. As viewers, we are left with a sense of sadness and introspection, compelled to examine the complexities of our own humanity and our own capacity to break free from the chains of vengeance.